I hope that you and I get to do multiple seasons of this game. Talking about people that you want to cheer for, the the team behind Dispatch are just all so great, so passionate about what they do. I hope we get to go. I hope we get to do more.
Woo! Yeah, baby! So guys, it's been almost a week since Dispatch aired its final 2 episodes, and if I'm being honest, my life has been pretty empty ever since last Wednesday. I mean, this game quite literally came out of nowhere and took over the internet for the past 4 weeks. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. It didn't really come out of nowhere, but point still stands. This game has become a really big deal. Not only did it take over the internet, I mean, everywhere I'm seeing fan art, edits, and just nothing but Dispatch. But on top of that, the game is crushing it. I mean, it went on to sell over 1 million copies in only the first 10 days of releasing. Not to mention yesterday, it was literally nominated for best debut indie game, which I had to go cast my vote. I say all that to say people love Dispatch. This game has resonated with so many people and has been one of the best surprises of 2025. The animation is amazing, the storytelling is so compelling, and more importantly, the characters. So many people have fell in love with these characters, from our endearing MC to his 2 love interests to the lovable and charming group that is the Z Team. And it's because playing through Dispatch was such a journey, because people did fall in love with these characters, it's safe to say that many people want more. Yes, as selfish as it sounds, we want more Dispatch, which is always a gamble, because when it comes to TV shows or video games, you never know when you're actually going to get more of something that you love. I mean, there's a lot of beloved franchises that haven't been touched in years, even though the fan bases have been begging for more. But in the case of Dispatch, I think it might be safe to say that we might not only get a season 2, but many more seasons to come, based off of all the information that has came out over the past 2 weeks. Now look, as of right now, there has been no official news of a season 2 of Dispatch getting greenlit. In fact, Ad Hoc Studio, the studio behind Dispatch, actually already has another game in the works, this time partnering with the Critical Role again to create a fantasy style choice game in their own fantasy universe. And look, don't get me wrong, I am a Critical Role fan. I love Vox Machina. I can't wait to watch the Mighty Nine come out this Wednesday, and I have no doubt that this fantasy choice game will be amazing. But even though they're making that, everyone wants to know, what are the chances of us getting a Dispatch season 2? Are we going to get to see more of Robert Robinson, Blonde Blazer, and Visigal, and the rest of the Z Team? Well, based on the interviews that have come out over the past 2 weeks, it seems highly likely. A couple weeks ago, the devs for Dispatch were doing an interview, and in the interview, they were asked, so due to the success of the game, what are their plans going forward? Are they thinking of a season 2? Do they have other projects? And the devs would go on to say that they are thinking of a season 2 now because of how successful the game has become.
Now that you've cooked on this and you've kind of laid the groundwork here, are you guys already thinking about your next project? You got something in the works, or what?
Yeah, we have an announced project with Critical Role, a partner of ours. But I also think that there's probably, we're gonna have to at least think about season 2 now. Like, and
Nice,
that was a question mark 3 weeks ago. So So that's very, very cool. It's a very cool problem to have.
And it makes sense. Even though these guys are former Telltale developers, Dispatch is quite literally the first release under the studio Ad Hoc. They are still an indie studio despite how high quality the production of Dispatch is. And when you hear them talk, you can really tell that they did not expect this game to blow up the way it did. I read somewhere that they said if they would have sold 1 million copies within 10 months, they would have been happy, but selling it within the first 10 days is absolutely insane. And I've seen people react to the headlines and say, man, how could you only just think about a Dispatch season 2? It's so big, it's performing so well. No, you need to do a season 2. But from their perspective, they didn't even think the game was gonna do that well. So to see it blow up, now they're literally saying, yo, I guess we do have to think of a season 2 now. We weren't even expecting it to do this well. But since so many people love it, it's kind of crazy to just rule it out, which honestly is one of my favorite aspects to the story of this game and how it's become so popular, because I remember actually playing it and talking about it online when the first 2 episodes came out, and even though there were a good amount of people playing the game, it wasn't that popular. It wasn't until the release of episodes 2 and 3 that I just saw the popularity skyrocketed. Out of nowhere, you have all these people making theories on TikTok, making YouTube video essays of theories. You had people making fan arts, edits, and you just really start to see it all over the place. The biggest streamer started playing it, the biggest YouTuber started playing it, and it turned into the success that we see today. So honestly, I think this is probably the best answer answer the developers could have gave, at least at the time when they gave it. Not outright saying that we're getting season 2, but also not shutting down the possibility, and also letting us know that they are thinking about this game. Now, funny enough, there was actually another interview that alluded to the idea of a season 2, and funny enough, it's in an interview where a Dispatch writer is talking about how they regretted cutting sex scenes out of the original game. The writer went on to say, "I know Dispatch is any one thing, so if we can make people freak out at seeing a wiener on screen, laugh at a fart joke, and then somehow cry at the end of it all, I'm happy with how it's working." They then went on to say, "We definitely cut some sex scenes, which in retrospect we shouldn't have. Maybe we'll get to see those one day." And obviously this is the writer having some fun, but I do think this is a very positive thing for people who do want to see more Dispatch, that the writers and the devs involved are talking very positive about the chances of us seeing it down the line instead of just shutting it off. And it's not just the developers, you also have the stars of the cast like Aaron Paul saying that he wants to have more and more seasons. He wants to do multiple seasons of Dispatch, while also having YouTube legends like Jacksepticeye, the voice of Punch Up, and Moist Critical, the voice of Sonar, saying that they would love to continue their roles and do a season 2.
But I'm just so glad that this type of game is back. I would love to see what happens next. They did talk in some interviews recently that they would love to do a season 2. I'm there, baby. Let me know. They talked earlier in the year with Variety, I think, when they talked with Critical Role and everything about potentially doing a TV show for it. Anything they want, anything they need, I am all in. Anytime this team calls, I will pick up the phone because they are incredible. I'm so honored that they asked me to be in the game. I'm so blown away by how good everyone was. I'm so glad I got to do it with really great people, but also some friends. Like Charlie being in the game and Alada being in the game are friends of mine anyway, but we got to do something together. And now I got to be in a thing with a whole bunch of new people who I got to hang out with and talk. Like, I had a call with Travis Willingham at one point about the game, and Laura Bailey and I talked about it a little bit. Like, just, it's all positive.
It's saying Sonar, remember that, makes me think we're getting a season 2. Well, you could say that about, like, the Blonde Blazer role, remember that, about how good it felt to kill my father, that kind of thing. But as far as I know, there is no season 2 plans as of now. But like I said, I feel like there's no world they don't come back to it with how successful this game has been. There's no world they just leave it at one season. It's just, it's too big not to. And they leave it perfectly open-ended for more. There's no doubt in my mind there'll be a season 2.
And like Moist Critical said, I really just don't see a single world where we don't get to see more of these characters. We don't get to explore more of the story of Robert Robertson, the Z-Team, and SDN. And look, it might take 2 or 3 years, but I wholeheartedly believe we will be getting not only season 2 of Dispatch, but multiple more seasons. But let me know what y'all think. Would y'all be excited for a season 2 of Dispatch, or do you feel like the game kinda ended perfectly and they don't really need to expand upon it anymore? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for checking out another one. And until then, it's been your boy Corin, and I'm off this.
Up in this tank, yeah, it's on. Turn on bus master like coke. Pull up in Rovers, it's on. Bitch, I'm Chief Sosa, this coke. Llama, it can't want no host. Bottle, it can't let me pour. High as fun, just like a float. Wanna glow up, let me show you.